Guardiola spent 7 years building Pau Cubarsí. Let's get it. Just like it up. I always like the videos before.
Lionel Messi was one win away from defending the title, but he did not control the final. Neither did Lamine Yamal. A 19-year-old center back did. Argentina played 120 minutes without registering a single shot on target. Spain conceded only once during the entire tournament, and Pau Cubarsí was named the best young player at the World Cup. 8 weeks before
He's so
the
tough.
final, Pep Guardiola ended his 10-year era at Manchester City, and just 18 days before announcing his departure, reports claimed City were ready to offer 90 million euros for Cubarsí. It was not the first time Guardiola's City had wanted him. 3 years earlier, they tried to sign him when he was 16 years old and had not played a single minute for Barcelona's first team. The question is not why City wanted Cubarsí in 2026. It is why Guardiola wanted him in 2023 and never got him. What did Pep see before there was any proof? The first
Just spill some water, bro. My gosh.
First clue lies in a problem he had been trying to solve since 2019. Manchester City went into a match against Crystal Palace without their regular center backs, so Guardiola placed Rodri and Fernandinho in the back line, two midfielders playing in defense. City won, and after the match, Guardiola said something that explains everything that followed. Our build-up was quicker because they have more intelligence, and they pass the ball so well because they are central midfielders.
And of course, our build-up with the central midfielders normally is quicker, is faster, is a little bit better.
Pep saw the future inside an emergency. City already had elite defenders, but Guardiola wanted more than that. He wanted a center back who could see the game like a midfielder. The problem was simple. That player did not exist. So Pep started building one himself. John Stones was a center back until City had the ball.
Oh my gosh. John Stones in their treble winning season, bro. Best defender in the fucking world. On my life. I don't care. Best defender in the world. John Stones could have won the Ballon d'Or that year. Honestly, like, so that ass. He was fucking amazing, bro. He was brilliant. John Stones was absolutely insane. I love that guy.
Guardiola taught him to leave the defensive line and move into midfield alongside Rodri. That role became one of the foundations of the season in which City won the treble. UEFA later named Stones in its Champions League team of the season, not as a defender, but as a midfielder. But Stones was not Guardiola's first attempt to blur the line between midfield and defense. Years earlier at Barcelona, he had converted Javier Mascherano from a defensive midfielder into a center-back. Mascherano moved from midfield into defense. Stones later moved in the opposite direction, so why does any of this matter for Cubarsí? Guardiola had spent years pushing players across that line, trying to combine a midfielder's intelligence with a center-back's defensive instincts. Cubarsí did not need to cross it. He already belonged to both worlds. From the beginning, he was doing exactly what Guardiola had spent years asking from his center-back. So what does that actually look like on the pitch? Before the ball reached him, he had already scanned the pitch. Then, with one short movement, Cubarsí would play vertically through the middle and remove 5 opposition players from the move. Those are passes you expect from Andres Iniesta or Kevin De Bruyne.
Cubarsí's vision is like so insane. Like he's 19, bro, and he's just like sees everything. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to explain. He just sees everything so clearly and perfectly before anyone else does. Like he plays, you see him play and you don't know his age. Like you can probably tell by his face. But like, without seeing like his face, you probably think he's like older because he plays so mature. He's so good, bro.
Not from a center back. City had made this kind of bet before. In 2017, a 16-year-old La Masia center back left Barcelona for Manchester without playing a single first-team minute. His name was Eric Garcia. 4 years later, Barcelona took him back. So when City returned to La Masia for another 16-year-old center back before he had played a single senior minute, it was not a new idea. It was a rematch. City still had to find a way to get him to Manchester. After Brexit, English clubs could not sign overseas players under the age of 18, so they found another route, Girona. According to reports, the plan was simple. Cubarsí would return to his childhood club, continue his development there, and then move towards Manchester once he turned 18. For a 16-year-old with no senior appearances, it looked like a safe route to the top. Cubarsí said no. Why would he reject Guardiola, a manager who had just won the treble with Rodri? City were at their peak. Barcelona were selling parts of their future just to stay on their feet. So why did he stay at Barcelona? Barcelona had been warned that Cubarsí was close to leaving. This was no longer only about his his
club of his
development,
dreams,
Barcelona
man.
had to act before Guardiola's plan became real. Xavi's staff moved immediately. They brought him into first-team preseason and gave him a professional contract. This was not a pathway Barcelona built just for Cubarsí. Months earlier,
Likes the video.
Xavi had taken Lamine Yamal, Cubarsí's teammate from the same generation, into first-team training and given him his debut at 15. Cubarsí was not being asked to trust a promise. He had already watched someone beside him walk through that door. At the beginning of 2024, he made his first-team debut in the Copa del Rey. 3 days
I remember watching that match, bro. It was so sick, bro. I loved watching him. I love watching Cubarsí, bro. He's so good.
days later, he received his first La Liga minutes against Real Betis. After the match, Robert Lewandowski approached him and asked how old he really was. Lewandowski could not believe the answer. It is impossible to play a match like that at his age. But Betis was not the real test. That came in the Champions League.
Oh my gosh. The match against Napoli, Osimhen cannot do jack shit because of a 17-year-old defender, bro.
Barcelona faced Napoli in the second leg of the round of 16. On the other side stood Victor Osimhen, one of the most dangerous strikers in Europe. Barcelona won, and Cubarsí was named player of the match. But Napoli did not only change his status at Barcelona, it sent a signal all the way to the Spanish national team. Only 3 days later, Luis de la Fuente called him into the senior squad. And when de la Fuente was asked why he trusted a center-back who had only played a few weeks of first-team football, he did not talk about his age. We're not surprised. We do not look at age, we only look at performance. In just 2 months, he went from an uncertain first-team future to starting for Barcelona and breaking Sergio Ramos's 19-year record for Spain. Now everyone could see the player Guardiola's City had tried to secure before his debut. Barcelona had to react. In May 2024, his release clause jumped from 10 million euros to 500 million euros. Then he
Deserved.
started making every number look reasonable. But the real examination arrived that autumn. Hansi Flick took over Barcelona and pushed the defensive line almost to the halfway line. In that system, one late step did not simply mean losing a duel. It meant leaving a clear road towards goal. Injuries to Barcelona's senior defenders meant a 17-year-old had to help hold together one of the riskiest defensive systems in Europe. So what did that system actually demand from him? Flick's high line did not only require a center-back who could pass, it required a player who saw danger before it developed, defended huge spaces behind him, and made decisions under pressure like a midfielder. Cubarsí did not only survive that system, he became one of the reasons it worked. Alongside Inigo Martinez,
1 second. This duo right here, the greatest center back partnerships I've ever seen. Because it just works so good. Cubarsí works really good with like senior defenders. If you watch the World Cup, him with Laporte, that's what we're trying to send Laporte so bad. And I think it's gonna happen. I don't know. It's just they work so good together. Like Cubarsí, he has that young, like he has the pace. He has fucking. My gosh, I don't know how to explain it. He has such good composure. Like, he just plays so mature that they. But I don't know how to explain it, bro. I feel like a dumbass right now. Just get back to
he
it.
played 56 matches as Barcelona won La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the Spanish Super Cup. While Cubarsí was holding together one of the most aggressive defensive lines in Europe, Guardiola's own structure was collapsing. In September, Rodri tore his cruciate ligament. Over the following months, City's defenders began disappearing too. Stones, Akanji, Diaz, and Ake. The results collapsed with them. City lost 5 consecutive matches, the first time that had ever happened to Guardiola as a manager. After the derby defeat to Manchester United, Pep finally admitted the scale of the problem. I don't have a defense,
Yeah, it was
I have
bad.
to find a solution, and I don't find a solution. The run eventually reached 1 victory in 13 matches. Then in February, while Guardiola was still looking for a defensive future, Barcelona extended Cubarsí's contract until 2029. The door Guardiola's City had first tried to open in 2023 had just been locked. City were still searching for a defensive solution. Barcelona already had theirs, but they were about to lose the defender beside him. The following season, his partner in defense left. The responsibility increased. 100 appearances for Barcelona before his 19th birthday. He became the second youngest player in club history to reach that number. And just when it seemed Guardiola might finally complete the last wish of his era, news arrived that ended that possibility. That spring, Guardiola announced that he was leaving Manchester City. 8 weeks later, that same kid produced a perfect World Cup. In the semi-final, Spain faced an attack built around Kylian Mbappé, Ousmane Dembélé, and Michael Olise. France
Did I watch the video on stream? I don't know if I did. Literally the whole reason they won, they just cut off Elise. They didn't let him do shit. Don't let Elise move the ball forward. You win the game, bro. That's all you do.
Did not score. Cubarsí reached the final, having played every minute of the tournament. Cubarsí then became the fastest player in World Cup history to reach 6 clean sheets, and on the biggest possible stage, the final answer arrived. From center back, Cubarsí broke Argentina's lines with 21 passes, more than any other player in the final. Argentina tried everything. When they could not stop him with football, the fouls started. He was brought down 3 times before Enzo Fernandez was eventually sent off. Now remember Guardiola's words after that ordinary match against Crystal Palace. Our buildup was quicker because they have more intelligence, and they pass the ball so well because they are central midfielders. 7 years later, that sentence no longer described an idea. It described the best young player at the World Cup.
Oh shit, that's it? That was a good video. Not just the best young player. Probably it's between him and Raji for the best player of that tournament. 100%. Yeah, man. That'll be a video. YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed, and you want to catch this live, Twitch and Kick on bio. Also join Discord. All my socials are down there, but join Discord, join the community. See you guys. Thank you guys for watching. This is